Hello and welcome to Everyone Knows a Dave. Well, have you ever gone camping and cooked your food and thought, man, this dehydrated food just tastes awful. I wish I could spice it up a bit. Well, I'm going to show you how you can use your vacuum food saver and make little sachets of your favorite spices like curry or garlic powder, chipotle, or even wet spices like sriracha or peanut butter, or in the middle there, ghee, so that you can enjoy the camping food experience a lot better. Okay, so follow along, and I'll show you how I do it. So first of all, we need to make ourselves some of the little plastic sachets. This is just the standard vacuum sealer bag that comes with the machine. So we're just going to make some sachets, and I usually make them about 2 to 3 inches wide. Just makes getting the stuff in easier. Now sometimes when you're doing this, because you're using it not quite as it was intended, remember this is the line here we're going to seal it on, so this is about 2 inches wide, there. Just eyeball it. So remember, sometimes because we're not using this quite correctly, your vacuum sealer may trip out and over temperature, but don't worry about that. Just let it cool down and you can reuse it for sealing. So then now you've got 2 edges sealed, you can just slide it back underneath here, underneath the cutter. Cut it. Now you have one big tube. Okay, take that tube, and this usually makes a couple of bags, or maybe even 3. If you're careful, you can usually just gauge. You need to put the edge of it in that strip there. So just let's start with, let's just cut it about there. It's a little tricky to cut this stuff. So first of all, we're going to go with something simple and something I always like to put in my dehydrated food, and I use a lot of those Knorr food helpers. So just open it up like that. You can see the tube is not actually that big, okay? But anyway, so get some curry powder. You can use a spoon if you want. I usually just throw it in as best as I can, although I'm probably going to throw it all over the table. Just tap a little bit. And that's probably all you're going to need. You can use more, but that's probably all you're going to need for a meal. So you've got that little sachet. Just tap it down. Now we're going to put it back on the sealing strip. Just like that. And try and trap it so that all the air comes out. Put that lid back on there, so I'm going to knock that over. And there you have it. Just trim it up. You don't want any excess waste. Now, when this is quite a big one actually, you can actually make it a little smaller if you really are stuck for space. You can keep using the sealing strip. Let's make it a little smaller. Okay, we can just trim in that up as well. There you have a little sachet of curry. So Now, how do we make the wet stuff? And for this, I'm going to use the sriracha. I love sriracha on scrambled eggs or something like that, or dehydrated eggs. This would be great for dehydrated rice or dehydrated noodles. I love curry powder in noodles. Yeah, so this would be good for eggs. So what we can do is we can take this one. Now I can also, usually when I do this, I make this a little bit bigger. So cut it about there. Take that, do the top, that would help. Push the thing right in. And that would probably be enough sriracha for a serving, okay? About that. Again. Now this one, you've got to be a little bit more careful. You don't want it to splurge all over the place when you push it in. You see it's trying to go back up. So a little careful. Seal it. Now, even if you get a little bit of that stuff in there, it probably will seal. This stuff really seals good. There you have it. Now, again, if you want to make it smaller, you can push that down there a little bit. Put it on the sealing strip. Just like that. Again, trim it up. Now let me tell you, these are really tough to open. You're not going to be able to rip them like that. It just is impossible to rip it, right? It's not like a standard sachet you might get from I don't know, a McDonald's or something. It doesn't have a thing in it. And even if you put a little slit in it, it's probably still not going to open. This stuff is super tough. So, yeah, so you're going to need a little pair of scissors or a little knife just to open it up. And once you do, you know, just clip it, and clip it on the corner and just pour it out. Now you can do this for sriracha, you can do it for ketchup. Obviously ketchup is an easy one to get. I'm only really demonstrating ones that are difficult to find. So that's pretty much all there is to it so far. But I am going to show you one more trick with this, and which might be interesting. So hang on in there. There's a little bit of bonus footage, if you like. So for the bonus footage, what about if you want to take your favorite tipple along? In this case, it's some famous grouse whiskey. Taking that bottle, or even transporting it into a smaller bottle, kind of a pain in the butt. You could put it in, yes, you could transport it in those little tiny bottles, or even buy those little tiny bottles. But why do that when you've got your own food saver machine? So for this, I make a slightly bigger sachet, and you can make it as big as you want, depending on your alcoholic consumption. Although for some of my some of my other YouTube the people I follow, this is not alcohol. This is just camp juice, and I think you know the people I mean. So just pour it in the sachet like that. Don't overfill it. If you need a bigger bag, just make a bigger bag. This plastic's cheap, but I'm just going to show you how to do it. Okay, put that to one side because I'm probably going to knock that over. Okay, just get the bag and just gently just lay it on there like that. You can see, just lay it on there, close that lid, just as long as you load it over and just seal it up. I sometimes hold my hand on this thing, but this food saver is an old food saver, as you can see the writing. We use this all the time. It's paid for itself multiple times. Again, you don't have to vacuum seal this, or if you vacuum seal that, all that stuff will be sucked into the tray or into the machine. So you don't want to vacuum seal it. Just seal it just like I showed you. There you have it. It ain't coming out. It don't matter how hard you try and rip this, it's not going to rip, right? It's food grade plastic, so it should be fine in there for a while anyway, at least. With any of these products, because it's food grade plastic, it's going to keep as long as it will keep here in room temperature. So I think this stuff, I don't know if it stores at room temperature. We certainly store it at room temperature, but it's certainly got enough preservative and vinegar and stuff in there that it's still going to be here when I'm dead and buried. So, and probably still edible. But all of these dried goods are perfectly okay. Of course, peanut butter, you know, same deal. You can just put it in there, and you know, it just keeps a long time at you know, room temperature. So anyway, that's it. I hope you liked it. Again, I hope you liked the little camp juice thing. Just so much easier to throw it in your bag. You know, it's not going to rip. It's, you know, it takes quite a bit to puncture this stuff. So you can even actually use your food saver, and I have, for things like I made a sheath for my my saw, and so I can just slip my wood saw, my small wood saw, into the sheath, because it didn't come with a sheath, and then store it in the bag without fear of it opening up and damaging anything inside your bag. So anyway, again, hope you liked my little video on how to use your food saver to make stuff. And as ever, if you liked it, like and subscribe. I'd love to get a few more subscribers. See you on the trails. See you on the next trail. So okay, thanks a lot for watching.